That was what you saw there was Emo Empty. He was shoved in by the studio because I needed to appeal to all audiences. Because you guys obviously wanted that. I think that's a good enough place to start. Spider-Man 3 is the last film in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. And it's the worst one. Now, it's not as bad as you think, but it is technically the worst one. There are just so many story threads, and all of them fight for the spotlight, and none of them, well, besides Sandman, really get a satisfying conclusion. It's mostly due to Avi Arad and him getting his grubby little mitts on this movie. This man has like a thing for Venom and kind of forced Sam Raimi to shove him in there. The movie has Tobey Maguire portraying Spider-Man for the final time. Going up against Sandman, Venom, and Harry Osborn as the new Goblin. Sandman, who is portrayed by Thomas Hayden Church, who is in the movie for a little over 10 minutes. That isn't that bad. Wait, how long is the movie again? Oh my goodness! He isn't even in the majority of it! Well, yeah. Anyways, Harry becomes the new Goblin and then loses his memory for, well, most of the movie. Wait. What? Are you telling me that Harry and Sandman both get shelved for the majority of the movie? So you're telling me this movie is just mostly Peter being a jerk and dancing up and down a street, killing Sandman, bombing Harry, dancing more, committing domestic abuse on Mary Jane, rips a black suit off, and then Topher Grace comes in for the movie for like 10 minutes and then dies. And Sandman is forgiven for killing Uncle Ben? Wait, what? Since when was he the killer? Alright. So Harry dies, and the movie ends with Peter dancing with MJ. The movie is alright. It isn't horrible by any stretch of the imagination. It is certainly not as bad as you think. But it's not great. Peter really doesn't take responsibility for his actions in this film, which is what I loved about Spider-Man 2. It feels like they tried to go for a more serious route in this film, but it only ended up more silly and goofy. I love this movie. It's certainly the most funny in the trilogy, but it just isn't Sam's vision. Some things I liked was the black suit and the new suit. A lot of people will think that the black suit is just a recolored red suit, but it actually does have differences. The spiders mainly. They're more jagged and they're like long and thick, and it's pretty cool. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3 red suit, it's not too different from the Spider-Man 2 suit. It's to me the blues are a lot darker, and I think the camera quality definitely went up in this film, so you get a much better look at it than the other two. But it's a solid suit. I just like the Spider-Man 2 suit more. I don't know why. I love J.K. Simmons and the Landlord in this film, but they just don't have as much screen time as they did in Spider-Man 1 and 2. I miss lines like, "My son, the astronaut," and "Rent!" Stupid. But they make up for it with the best scene in cinema. It's glorious. Alright, Peter is a nerd deep down. This scene is meant to be cringy and stupid. It's a nerd who has gotten so much power, and it just brings us to this scene. And then it's followed by a jazz scene, where Peter tries to make MJ jealous, like he dances with Gwen, and then he hits her. This is the buildup of all the tension in the movie. Him kissing Gwen, the black suit, him hitting Harry. Well, not hitting, he blows him up, but MJ breaking up with Peter due to Harry's manipulation. It all culminates into him hitting her. And this is the point of the movie where he decides to cut the addiction and get rid of the suit. In this film, actually, just overall, the black suit has always been meant to represent substance abuse. And this film really shows that. You can see Peter always going back and forth, trying to fight it, but always giving into its power. But unlike Topher Grace, who gives into it, Peter fights it and then finally puts it down. Unlike Venom, who dies trying to get more of it. I actually really like Topher Grace's Venom's design. It's a dark Peter. It didn't need to be a big, bulky monster like it was in the comics. This is Sam Raimi's Peter Parker's parallel. He's a skinny monster who has great power but no responsibility. Some things I disliked were how Sandman and Harry were just like pushed out of the film. They had so much potential, and I think that it could have really led to something. But no. Harry's sacrifice felt hollow and empty, and I didn't really care he died. Unlike someone else. I'll get to that. I like I said before, I disliked the lack of Jonah and the landlord. Come on, I need more of them. In conclusion, Spider-Man 3 isn't great. It's not awful, it has great ideas. It's a beautiful mess. I love Sandman's redemption in this movie. It was beautiful. When Peter told him he forgave him, it really brought the story full circle. With most of the movie with Peter being revengeful, spiteful, but then he forgave him at the end. This film is a perfect conclusion to this silly little series. It shows what great power but no responsibility does. So, we don't end the movie with a swing or a great fight, but just a quiet scene of Peter and MJ dancing. And then the movie fades to black. This film is special. And in its case of how messy but beautiful it is, I don't think I can really score it. See y'all next time for my review of The Amazing Spider-Man 1.